So hey everybody, welcome to another Monday Momentum where I'm here to share a good word with you. Today we're going to talk about how to introduce yourself like a pro. Listen, one of the things I know, one of the things I experience with college students and high school students is the introduction. And sometimes the introductions are great and sometimes the introductions are just not memorable. And one of the things that I want to make sure that you do, especially when you're working with or talking to industry leaders, is that you are creating or finding a way to be as memorable as possible. I want them to be like, how do I seek this person out? Or how do I help this person be great? An introduction can literally change exactly everything that a person perceives about you. But you got to make sure that it's one, not boring. Two, that nobody is, you're not copying nobody. Three, you're able to talk about the impact that you can have on people's lives. Four, you talk about the outcomes that you produce as a leader. Five, you really want to help people see your strengths. Right. And so these are a couple things that I want you to think about as it relates to making sure that your introduction is super memorable. And so if you are looking for a way to introduce yourself like a pro, so you can go from awkward to confident, right? To from awkward to appreciated in your introductions, this is the video for you. And so listen, as a professor, I work with college students, I work with high school students to understand their natural gifts and talents and articulate them to industry leaders so they can get a job before graduation. That is how I introduce myself to everybody. Not one single person is going to get an introduction from me that doesn't include I help students understand their natural gifts and talents. It's at least that, right? And then people are like, oh, well, tell me more. Well, what I do is I help them articulate their leadership talents and gifts to industry leaders so that they can get a job before graduation. One of the things that you need to, that we all know about college students or even high school students is all of them are thinking about what is going to happen after I get done with this experience. And so what I'm doing is literally addressing one of their top issues, one of their top fears is not knowing what's going to happen after graduation. And so when you think about how you introduce yourself, how do you help people know the impact that you're trying to have on their life? That's super important in this journey. And I'm here to help you develop that statement, whether it's an impact statement, whether you consider it an elevator pitch, whatever you want to call it. I need you to know that you don't want to come off as a person who just introduces himself like, hey, my name is Maddie and I go to UNCW. Oh, or hey, this my name is Maddie and my major is marketing and communications. Like that doesn't tell me anything about you at all. Right? Really? Like think about it like this. Like if I was to get asked a question, what's the most important trait in leadership? And I say honesty. Like, that don't do nothing. It's like giving context is super important. And what you need to know is that every introduction that you give, that you have, that you meet with anybody, you need to give context, not just what you do. Like, that's cool. We all doing something. But what is the value add that you provide? That's what people really want to know. And so like when I break it down, right? Like when I break it down, I don't want you to be thinking about this like this is what Dar says about himself. And so I need to say this about me. I need you to know like here's the formula, right? You don't want to be boring. So you don't want to be I'm a junior studying business. You want to be I help who are the people that you help, right? And then you help them achieve what result? Right? And then and you do it by what? So how do you do that? What is the benefit of the how? Right? And so I help high school and college students understand their natural gifts and talents, that's the result, so that they can graduate and get a job or get admissions into college or grad school. I do that by helping them articulate their gifts and talents to industry leaders. One of the things that we know about industry leaders is they want to hire somebody, they want to work with somebody that at least at the bare minimum knows who they are and what they bring to a team that's valuable. What do they bring to an industry that's valuable? And so I want to make sure that you have the exact words that you can use to be able to talk about your value to an industry leader. Because they don't want to know. It's cool. Like it's cool. You went to college. It's cool. You graduated from high school. That's important, right? But that's not all to the story. There's more. And so how do you get to more? You be able to open up these doors to be able to say, hey, this is what I provide. This is how I can make impact in your organization, in your life, in your company, in your community, etc. We want to know those questions, and we want to know them quick. We don't need you to take 20 minutes to say something that you can say in 20 seconds. I help college students understand their natural gifts and talents so they can articulate them to industry leaders and get a job before graduation. If you can do that, we have so much more that we can explore now because we got so much time, right? And now I want to know more about that about you, right? And so I want to make sure that you think about ways in which that you can expose people to your skills. I want you to think about ways you can expose people to your talents, expose people to your passions, expose people to your experiences that are relevant to the work that they do. That's how you get an industry leader to want to follow you, to want to be, to have more insight and conversation with you, potentially even hire you. Is you want to be able to give them something that makes them feel like they need to know more, right? And so here's the second thing is you can stand out and introduce yourself like a pro by making it about other people. And so here's the thing. I hear a lot of students talk about, I'm a servant leader, right? I care about helping the community. But then as soon as it comes time for you to work with an industry leader that could literally change communities, you only talking about yourself. Woo! Right? Or when it comes time to talk with or connect with an industry leader that can literally change your life, you have no questions about who they are. You have no questions about where they've been, where they're going, how they got there. These are really critical questions that you can be asking to these professionals because now you have their ear. And the one thing I know about professionals is they love talking about their journey to get to where they got. Right? We all love it. Like, we worked hard. Some people 20 years. Like for me, I've been working in higher ed as a part-time professional since 2007. So it's almost 20 years of work. It's 20 years of diligence, of dedication to higher education. And so, of course, if somebody's like, Dr. Dar, I want to be like you. I want to do the work that you do. You made me feel so great. Great. Amazing. What do you want to know? I want to tell you. I want to tell you all the things, right? I'm going to tell you exactly how to get here. But if you never ask any questions about me and you only make it about you, the conversation is over before it even gets started, right? I'm a leadership studies professor and you talking about, oh yeah, this one time I taught leadership and I trained people and here's the outcomes and here's what people said about me and people liked me and people loved me and they brought me back and blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. Have a great day, right? Because again, I don't necessarily care about all those things unless I'm asking you. If I ask you, what were the outcomes? What did people say? How did people respond? Then that's when you bring that information out. But otherwise, you asking Dr. Dar, what college did you go to? How did you get into teaching leadership in the classroom? Where do they do that at? How do I get trained to do that? What's some organizations or conferences I should go to? What conferences have you gone to that you think are beneficial to get into leadership studies and leadership education and leadership training? You see what I'm doing here? I'm literally giving you all the keys that you need to be successful, but you got to see it. You got to understand it. You got to be able to be so beyond yourself that after you introduce yourself, if they don't ask any questions, that you know it's an opportunity for you to ask a question. That's the big, big, big moment, right? And what's a great question to ask, right? You need to, of course, you got those simple background stuff, but I think a really important thing to know is like, what do you really want from this person? And so if that person is literally a CEO of a multi-million-dollar company and that's what you want to learn how to do, then you ask those questions, right? But you need to have stated that, like, yo, you are a CEO of a multi-million-dollar company and that's something I aspire to have. Can you tell me a little bit about how you got started on this journey? Quick. You see how I talked about me and I talked about I did some research on them, but then brought it together with a great question. And so that's how you need to do that, right? So when you're thinking about asking a great question, here's some questions that you can ruminate on, right? I'm looking at my notes here. So what's something exciting that you're working on right now? Or what's something exciting that your organization is putting out right now? What's something innovative and new that could change the landscape of the industry that your company, your organization, or you and your team are working on right now? Great question. What's the best advice that you received from somebody in your field when you were a new person? What's the best advice that you received from someone that's in the field when you first graduated from high school or college? What's some advice that you received that you would tell every single new employee that you hired in your organization? Those little type of questions really get to the heart of how can I be that person for you, for your organization? What tips, what value can I bring? Because you know that when somebody is working on something new, it's important. And so if you want to make yourself more important, attach yourself to the new thing that they're trying to do and make it easier for them. If you can do that, if you can make somebody's job easier, you're making a name for yourself within that person's life. It doesn't matter if you're talking about in the classroom. It doesn't matter if you're talking about in a job, right? You can literally make your teachers' jobs easier by being thorough in your homework, right? Asking clarifying questions, giving validation, helping other students understand the material, showing that you truly understand the material. These are all different ways that you can literally show that you're a value add to an organization or a leader in the industry. Here's another thing is like, you can make it simple. What brought you to today's event? What are you hoping to gain from today's event? If there was a mentor here at this event that you can take on right now, what qualities would they have? These are really, really powerful questions that can lead to super amazing opportunities if you take advantage of them, yo. I'm serious. I'm trying to tell you. So the last part about that, I need you to just bring it back to the forefront, is knowing that like professionals love talking about themselves. That's it. Let them talk about themselves, right? Here's another step. So you want to end with an action item, a next step, a follow-up. How do I stay connected with you? Something on the matter, right? So what they say is the fortune is in the follow-up. That's the old saying. The fortune is in the follow-up. And so listen, I need you to know this huge fact. And I want to say I don't use facts like that often when I'm talking, because again, I sometimes I don't know, but in this one, I for sure, I'm gonna say 9 times out of 10, so 8 to 9 times out of 10, when people connect with people, that's the last time that they talk to that person. Right? Like, I give out my card, I give my email, I give my information to people, and what you hear, what you see, and what you know is that you never hear from that person ever again. And the sad thing is like, yo, I'm literally genuine. Like, I'll be real with you. Like, I offer up free coaching to my students practically every class. And I'm going to say maybe 10% of my students will take advantage of it. I'm opening it up. I'm literally opening up to 100 students. Free coaching. Come meet with me. Let's talk about your goals. Let's talk about your gifts. Let's talk about your talents. Let's talk about how you're going to get there. And talk about what's challenging you from getting there. And I will say out of 100 students, probably 10 will meet with me in a semester. And I have 100% record of getting students into jobs and getting students into grad school, specifically grad school. Like, I'm on fire when it comes to getting students in grad school, and not just getting students in grad school, but finding the grad school that works for you. And most students don't meet with me. And so let's think about it like this. If you're in a room full of 100 people and it's 5 leaders that literally can change any one of y'all's lives, guess what? Out of the 100 people that connected with those 5 people, really only 10 will actually follow up. Only 10 or even 20 may actually send a follow-up email saying, hey, thank you for your time. I would love to connect further with you. And I'm going to say of that 10, I will say only 10%. So 1 or 2 people, maybe 10 to 20% will actually do what it takes to meet with that person. And so if you literally take those 2 steps, follow up and ask a person to meet up and take them to coffee or something like that, $4 or $5 could literally change your life. Only out of 100 people, only 1 person you are really truly in competition with, because nobody else is going to do all those things. Everybody, this is a thing we are in such a give me society that we don't even think about what would it mean to a professional that's always being asked to give is being given to by a student who just wants to share that they're valuable to them by being a support system of their goals. Wait, so all you want is my time, you don't want my money, you want my energy, you want my ideas, you don't want to steal nothing from me. All you want is my time, and you're willing to pay for my coffee. I'm willing to bet out of 100 students, it's probably only 1 who will actually do those things. And so if you do those things, you're literally only going to be in competition with 1 other student. That's how you help yourself stand out, right? That's how you give yourself the leg up. And I want all of my students, every single person who's watching this video, I want to make sure that you have the advantage over everybody else out there, right? Every single person. And you can have it, and you will have it if you just follow these simple steps. And when I tell you, like, if they don't answer the email in the first email, or the second email, or the third email, or the 4th email, and you only willing to send 5 emails to pursue your dreams, to pursue the thing that could change your life, did you really want it? You got to ask yourself these hard questions, yo. I remember there was a mentor that I saw myself in. I was like, yo, I want to be like this man. And I spent months trying to reach out. And it wasn't just like, hey, how's it going? It was like the holiday. Hey, I hope you have a great holiday. Hey, I hope you have a great summer break. Hey, I hope you have a great start of the year. Hey, I want you to be amazing while you're out there changing lives. Hey, how's your students going? How's challenges been in your workplace? Like, I didn't care what kind of question I could ask. I didn't care what kind of thing was going on in the world. I was going to do my best to acknowledge that I want to not only be a part of your life. I see that there's a huge amount of value that you bring to people's lives that I need. And so I'm going to make sure I do what it takes to show you that I'm dedicated to getting on your calendar. That can change the game, y'all. I need you to know that will change the game, but you got to be willing to do the work, right? So you can say things like, you want to make sure that you always leave a conversation knowing that they're going to stay connected. And so I'd love to connect with you and continue this conversation. Can we connect on LinkedIn? Can we go to get coffee? It's on me, right? I have a project related to this idea, the work that you do. I'd love to connect to get your thoughts, your insights, your perspectives on what I'm doing. That's another question you could ask. Or you'd be like, hey, are you on Instagram? Do you share stuff on YouTube? I love to follow your work. Make sure you go follow them, subscribe to YouTube, whatever. Right? This video will be on YouTube. There will not be a replay on Instagram. And so if you want to see it, you're going to have to go to my YouTube, Dr. Dar Mayweather, right? And subscribe. Click the link, right? Make sure you watch the video. Make sure you take some good notes because this video is literally going to change lives. I got a feeling. I'm just feeling like something energetic is literally happening in this space right now. It's going to literally change millions of lives. And so you need to make sure that you're ahead of these folks that's going to get these videos, because once they know the strategy, you better believe out of 1 million, 1%, right? 1%. And so 1,000 people or 10,000 people, 10,000 people are going to take that strategy and run with it, right? And so make sure that you do what you can. And so here's a little recap. Here's a wrap up for the video. I want to make sure that I give you a little bit of insight. So again, I need you to start strong. I need you to stay engaged. I need you to follow up, right? I need you to have a great introduction with the impact statement or elevator pitch that talks about the results, talks about the people, and talks about the benefits of how you do that work. Right? I need you to stay engaged with people by asking really, really good questions, right? Super, super intriguing, non-basic questions, right? And then I need you to follow up because the fortune is in the follow-up. All right, if this was great for you, I want you to try to challenge yourself to develop your impact statement or develop your elevator pitch. And if you need help with that, you need to connect with me, info at drdarmayweather.com. Make sure that you ask me any questions of how I can help you put together your impact statement or your elevator pitch so you can say the value that you bring in less than 20 seconds so you can spend the rest of that conversation diving deeper into how you can be connected to that person. Right? And then, of course, download my free Networking Like a Pro guide that's going to be on my website. It's going to be a game changer. www.drdarmayweather.com is going to be in the free resources library. In order to access the free resources library, you got to be on my mailing list. And so you got to sign up for my email list. You can again go to drdarmayweather.com. You can get on my email list to get access to my free resources library so I can help you network like a pro so you can be the next millionaire that then people are thinking about how do they network with you so that you can change their lives. Listen, y'all. This was a great video. Really excited for the folks who are going to watch this. Again, if you get an opportunity, make sure you go to YouTube, like, subscribe. Make sure that you share this video with amazing people who might need it. Always, as always, keep doing the good work.